it. Wow, y'all. I just let me get this together first. Let me take care of my duties, my responsibilities. To be seen out here in this YouTube space, right? I got some things that I need to do. Let me get that handled real quick. Please forgive me, guys. I put the names in the thingy as I could recognize them. Please forgive me. When I go to share over here, I'll do it differently. At Harris Tribe Media Group. At this because she's here. I'm gonna add at all about the trees. I'm gonna add. Oh, there was someone else. Oh, at Hanifa. Hanifa. I can't find you. I'm sorry. So Hanifa, if you are out there, please join. I'm gonna add one more person whose name I haven't added in a very long time. Let's see. Maybe not. Oh, can't add that one either. So I'm gonna. Oh wait, there it is. And someone who may not even know or care that I watched them, but I got a question for you. And I won't bring up any fellas in this time frame here. Leave it on the replay. Do whatever it is that you choose, gentlemen. When you come in, please, come into the chat, whatever. So this is just a quick conversation, something that I have recognized in this space. And so I would like for us to have a conversation about it. I had already written the post over on my Buy Me a Coffee. So I'm going to put that. Oh, hey, look at that. Just the link's right there because I was supposed to put it on, whatchamacallit, Twitter. So I'm going to go put it here. You guys, if you want to go over, read back, come back, share this with your community. I'm going to run the intro and turn on the hot water so I can get me at least some tea going because right now that's what it is. But anyway, yeah, let's do that. And then guys, if you're out there, ladies, I'll put you on my share. I'll come back and put you on the Facebook as well. But pull up. Let's have a conversation about taking off the veils. I recognize in each of you something that I've seen as in my own journey, and I'm hoping that maybe together, combined, we could just have a conversation to allay a couple of things. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll be back. Black love is the scaffolding between power and understanding, the freedom in knowing the gravitational call to the stars, the refinement necessary to keep them from colliding, the knowledge that our story isn't precautionary tales or careless whispers. Your systems will be measured, their void put on display. We are the color born of a galaxy in darkness, black excellence, the fourth element, the fourth element. Just by those two little, y'all don't understand.
That's so rouse your religion. Two Y's, T and W.
I'm black, y'all.
Okay. For my people, die for my people, ride for my people, die for my people, yeah. Ride for my people, die for my people, ride for my GG, die for my people, yeah. Die for my people, yeah. Ride for my GG, yeah. Ride for my people, yeah. Ride for my people, yeah. Die for my GG, yeah. Die for my GG, yeah. Ride for my people, yeah.
Hey y'all. So look, real talk, after my live yesterday and this morning, I began to think about my time as a military dependent. Some of the things that I saw and witnessed, the juxtapositions, the weird things, right? I'm going to also drop the link here in case you ladies arrive or someone. Also, guys, I am going to kind of open the space up in a moment here. I know a few people have uh, said to me of late that they've lost someone recently, and I'm truly sorry to you. Rather than mention individual names, I will say, Beachy, if there's anything that I can do for you from a spiritual standpoint, it's kind of what I have, but I can do that. And to those of you who didn't post it somewhere out here, I hear you. The space is open to you. I'm here if you just want to listen to me talk today. It's kind of why I decided to go ahead and do this live. That and I mean, real talk, y'all. I'm so over it. Like I don't care who's right in this situation. With I won't even shine a light on it that way because it makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's the conversation at hand. We're going to talk about lifting this veil of modesty. I think if we look at the world today, let's do it this way. Let me get a video because that always works best with communicating some things here. So I'm trying to find one. It's just recently they've been having this discussion, I believe, in Iran. Um, right, Muslim women. Okay, so here we'll do this one because it's 2 minutes, and it'll help to give some context to what we've got going on. Okay. One second. That's a walk for me, and I know it when I hear it. Yo, Shawty. Yay. I got the camera on, so be careful. This is for me too? Yeah. Yay. They get mine. Social college recording. You need it? What? Come back and get it later. Yeah. Sweet. Thank you. Awesome. Yay. I love coffee deliveries. Thank you. Yay. I got snacks and coffee. You guys, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Um, Coffee creamer. You guys, there's nothing like fresh coffee. I'm trying to told you like 2-3 days ago. But okay. So, I was sharing this to YouTube because I know that some of the ladies who I want to have this conversation, I mean to Facebook, because I know the ladies that I want to have this conversation with are over there as well. So, just give me one moment, y'all. Oops, wrong thing. I don't want to edit the destination, but I do need to go back over to YouTube and get this thing. So let me do that. I apologize, y'all. I apologize. I know. I really should have been a little bit more prepared for this. I mean, I knew I was going to talk about this at some point, yet I could have done a couple of things a little bit better, like making sure that my jetpack wasn't going to go off before or get stuck in a situation like what seems to be happening right now. Okay, there we go. Share. Copy. Leave there. I've got to go directly in. No. Oh, come on, man. What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? I cannot share it because my I'm locked out that way. Oh, JP. Maybe this will work. Maybe crush fingers, toes, elbows. Nope. Okay, so we're gonna give up on that for now. Anyway, what we are gonna do is go ahead and watch this video. I am going to get my coffee creamed and sugared in the meantime. Um, so this is times now Iranian women publicly remove headscarves while some women continue to protest the hijab. So here's the thing. I feel that hijab is a physical, visual representation of modesty. So if we can have this conversation right now in kind of real time, maybe and I chose the women that I chose. One is a Christian as far as I've known. One is Caribbean and of some possibly other type of understanding. Ms. Harris is a 5%er, but sometimes you'll see her in hijab and veil. Um, and then there's me. I do my best to live in my modesty versus covering it because there was a time when I just couldn't cover it. It made me ill while I was pregnant. So I just really wanted to try and have that conversation to try. I mean, I've been bridging gaps for a while in my life, and so why not take a stab at some understanding around this one too? I guess was my goal here. Let me do this though. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, apologies for that. Let's get this up here and on the screen. There we go. Ta-da! Hopefully you can see that. I can see it. And fair use. Oh, let me get myself out of the shot. Huh? Sorry, guys.
همونجوری به قولمون وفا کردیم و روسری ها رو در بردیم. امیدوارم همه به وعدهشون وفا کنن و امروز بدون روسری و مقنعه برن بیرون. Okay. So
To give it some clarity, right? Basically, the last portion of the video stated the severity of the punishment or enforcement of the hijab ban is truly dependent, and forgive me, I'm going to walk away, so I'm going to turn this off, but I'm here. The enforcement or not, and how flagrant of the hijab ban is dependent on who's in office and their background. Well, that seems to make it very subjective rather than an objective piece or integral part of society. It seems that the hijab really comes down to where you were born and raised and how much it matters to that community. And you can even see it today here in the States. All of the ladies, well, not all, some of the ladies that I've asked to come and join this conversation, or I should say tag, did not ask them because none of them knew that I was going to be live or any of those things. It ain't like that. It was just something that came to me, and I was like, JP, just go ahead and do it instead of trying to plan, organize, or bank or think on anything. Because, or more than anything, no offense to you ladies, but this space, a lot of folks are too unpredictable, self-preservative, right? More likely than not, this conversation will end up anyway. So the question was, is it subjective? Well, going off that understanding right there from the video that we just looked at, it's a subjective thing. Modesty, at least where the hijab is concerned. So if that's the case, then what's next? Excuse me. And it would seem to me that since modesty is subjective, do the women want to wear it or not? And generations since 79 have had to wear it and seem to be ready to take it off. You see, the difference between Muslim women and American women, Muslim women have had the right to vote. It's a part of their origin story. I mean, it's in the Quran. When you really study Islam, you know this to be true. Unlike in Christianity or the United States, westernized places, Muslim women had the right to vote. They had a voice, even behind the veil. So taking the veil off puts a face to the voice. Once they're comfortable with that face and that voice being out there in the world, then it's being comfortable being the face of that voice and telling your truth, your story, in your way. The thing is once your story comes to the light of day, what does it mean for others? And in this case, it means, well, the question is, what happens to your modesty when you have the voice, the vote, and the face? Modesty is an integral part of who we are. So what happens to your modesty, your integrity? given the title of queen, what happens? Hmm. And see those women over there, they already live under the patriarchy. They already live under those rules, right? So they don't. That country doesn't want those women come out from behind the veil. Our women have never really been behind the veil, not in that way. And those of us who chose it for a time, we've gone back and forth on whether or not to wear the veil. Personally, it made me hot. I overheated a lot. And I got pregnant with that youngest one, and woo child. I was like, damn, this veil, Lord, you're gonna have to accept me as I'm is. And the creator was like, all right, do you? So the veil is not necessary to modesty. What we're taught, what we're raised, what we're trained to believe, to be, to understand. Should that and is it best when it comes from two parents? Certainly. Yet, one parent given the opportunities, a foundation, a floor, one parent given the foundation, the dollars, the house, the opportunity to be there in their child's life and raise them on that journey, you can do that. And I don't think that it takes away from anyone else who that's not how they did it, or I don't believe that that's the reason why. Yeah, I don't blame others for someone having to do that, right? The way that the system was created with a flaw in it. And we have the opportunity to correct that flaw right here, right now, if we can remove the veils of modesty or immodesty, if we can remove the veil of division and just look at the country as our chessboard, look at the pieces and the players, and look at where we are in society, right? We're at a tipping point where people have seen enough and really aren't trying to go to war, yet they don't know what else to do. And we could stop it right now by giving people a floor and telling them you have the right, the freedom, and the opportunity to heal and raise your families and community. No strings attached. That's the basic floor. And if you've been using military families as the test case, now it's time to move on to the larger population of those who served who are the majority minority. And you know that there is a tax and a toll come due. Start by giving it to them. Yeah, so you started in a couple of places, Colorado, I think, and Georgia, but those women in those spaces, they're not really the representation of the entire woman population, right? And it's just not really the actual fair metric to just give it to ladies, right? You need to give it to families. You need to give it to families. And while it doesn't matter how many children you do have, um, you have to have a minimum of one, and say put a maximum of three on what can truly be um, accomplished effectively, in this type of group setting that we're talking about. And that's to say from a financial standpoint, not to say from a human, spiritual, emotional standpoint. From that arena, you could have any number, I suppose, of children. I don't even say I suppose, I know. When I was a child care provider, it was up to 6 children, and three of those could be infants, I think. Oh, three of them could be infants, or you could do some mix up of infants and older children. But at the end of the day, like our government has seen all these things. They know all these things. They recognize that there are some meters and some metrics that came from us being military for this long, and there's an opportunity here to change. We have to not buck the change of society in that way. Apologies, y'all. My screen just decided to act like I'm not actually over here doing nothing. I guess because that's why I wasn't moving or talking. I mean, or wasn't moving anyway. But so anyway, apologies. Uh, our government recognizes this, knows this, and has seen it. So, there's some blips and things that they need to understand still. Yet, I'm saying just move on to the next control group. The next control group is Black Americans. That's gonna cost you some money you just ain't ready for. Oh well, Pippin. That's some money you ain't ready for. You think you gonna jump over us onto someone else moving forward? Trust and believe me, hunty. You're asking for the wrong thing. You see, even the children from around the globe who've had access, especially in these last 10 years, ooh, that surprised me. The children who had access in these last 10 years to the global community, they recognize the same things. They see the struggles in America as similar to the struggles of their own. They've seen children in spaces like the School of Science and Math, where they have this global community, and they collaborated behind the scenes in order to get classwork and artwork and activities done. And well, honey, baby, let me tell you, child, they didn't just talk about schoolwork. They learned from each other about their cultures, about their heritage. They learned about what it was like to be um, from somewhere else and drop into a community from time to time. They basically have been the civilian version of military brats. They've lived, they've done, or they've grown up experiencing what I lived, like going from Memphis to Oklahoma, and then Colorado and Carolina and Germany, going to school from an American Southern school system to a Midwest school system to all the way abroad in Germany, and leaving the DoD school systems and being inside of the German or international schooling system. What I experienced and learned there, and how different that was, or how it would impact my choice making later on, and what I would put into my children, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So yeah, that's it. Um, and that's just something that's put into you from the earliest of age, not at 9 years old when you're first told to put on a hijab. You've already got your personality pretty much set in stone at 6. That's what moral development is all about. Understanding that from 0 to 6, we're pretty much simply witnessing, interacting with, but not manipulating the world around us. And then at 6 years old, we become what they call autonomous. And at that autonomous stage, we want to be in control, even when we don't know our tail from our elbow, right? And you can actually see this on display when your children are as young as 6 months old. At 6 months old, they've learned to manipulate you with their pacifier. If you've never paid attention before, those of you who've got infants or who've gone through this already, your child will take their binky or pacifier and throw it on the floor and get you to pick it up. And they'll train you to do that. Or you're trained to do that, and they think that they've trained you to do that. The cognitive dissonance comes in for them, were you to leave the binky behind and never get it again. They would try it again and then seize the outcome. When they do things and they get different outcomes, they're like, no, okay, we got to keep testing the theory. Our babies are pretty much um, walking theorists. They're testing the world around them as they go, all the way up into and beyond puberty. Seriously, like that idea where they say, you're not set until you're like 25. That's kind of partially true. Like, you're testing boundaries until then. You're supposed to be anyway, figuring out who you are. Doing that in the safest environment possible. Excuse me. That's the thing that we're really trying to do, is protect their innocence as long as possible. And the only reason a veil or doesn't matter in this space, the only reason some of the icky things that we're witnessing in this space really bother us is because we know that our children could have access to some of this. No matter how much we try to protect them. It's just something we don't really have that much control over, because we don't have control over our cipher, our individual spheres. Um, that's what was supposed to happen in capitalism. We were supposed to have control over our individual spheres and our individual controls, and putting our best interest of self and community at heart was going to reap the most or the best outcome. And that just doesn't seem to be true. You know? It seems that what we've found instead is we just came to be really selfish for the most part. I changed. Really, I do believe that September 11th was pivotal in that changing. Certainly from the perspective at which I sat, military family, so on and so forth. So yeah, um, I don't know. Like I said, I put it out there. It's the middle of the day. I couldn't have presumed that they would make the conversation or not. I suppose it'll be in other spaces, and I'll tell you real talk. I probably won't show up. It's the red pill. Shame them to death. Bully people for existing. To be able to have the conversation, yeah. So yeah, real talk. It's just yeah, I'm over that part. I really am. You can't show up over here and have a conversation. Ain't no fucking reason for me to come over there. Period. And let's be honest, y'all had already been over here. So, yeah. Um, Having said that, though, and what's the rule? Um, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you feel like you felt that, then you should have felt that, huh? Not sorry at all. Having said that, we have the opportunity to look at ourselves and make these changes in real time, to recognize that a veil and its representation of modesty is simply that, a representation. What is it representing? The modesty and integrity inside of the person. Long hair, don't care. I cover myself in modesty. 3/4 of cloth, never showing my stuff off. That is my choice. Yet, not oversharing my whole life with everybody, that's a universal choice. A decision that we all want to have the right to make. That was stolen from me by the American military. It's being stolen from you and your children in Facebook branding and AI. Before long, your children won't even belong to you. So I just wanted to put this out there. I'm going to go and get off here and call Smoke Buddy and see if they're still available. They might be entertaining, because watching this YouTube space today, last night, I haven't really been entertained. I've been disappointed in a bunch of adult delinquents. Do different, because your best is never going to be good enough. Keep your spirit up. I'll see you in the streams. Deuces.